Welcome back to another episode of Investors Playbook Live, people. As always, you have your co hosts, Deshaun and Cornell. We have another amazing episode coming at you. And in today's episode, we both came across some news that was a bit striking because we both promote financial literacy. We both teach financial literacy. And what we want to do is make sure that people are setting themselves up not just for today, but for their future. But what we're seeing, news reports according to ABC, and different, news outlets, that more people are taking money out of their 401ks now than ever. We know that a 401k is supposed to be a retirement nest. You are supposed to put money into your 401k, have your job match you if that's available, and just let it grow for years and not touch it. It's supposed to be something that is setting you up for retirement, right? When you get to that area of financial wealth and financial freedom, you can live off of the money in your retirement and other streams of income that you have. But what we're seeing is that people are prematurely taking money out of their 401ks. Multiple reasons why, right? There are legit reasons why you can take your money out without experiencing a penalty, buying your first home, getting more education. But I think that these reasons are more financial emergencies and less of purchasing more assets or doing things to promote themselves. So, Cornell, we're going to dive into that today. First off, how are you feeling about just that news in general, right? Like 401ks being treated like a savings account almost, or like an emergency fund. What are you thinking, man?
Especially like if I know that the economy is getting harder and harder to live in, day by day, especially what's going on with the new administration. They're cutting funding for like food stamps, Medicaid, things of that nature, things that people with a lower income would typically need. Right. Also, we have inflation, so you have items getting more expensive, necessities, even living like rent, homes are becoming more expensive. So I can understand more people needing to dip into the 401k. So it's hard to tell people to just completely stop, right? Just stop going into your 401k. But we just want to make sure that people aren't just doing it for comfort. Like, the people that are just getting by, they're able to pay their living expenses, but they're just like, man, I need a little more comfort that I want to do. So I'm going to dip into my 401k, right? So those are the people that I want to tell, like, man, is it, even if you have to struggle a little bit now, it will be worth it later on when you hit that 59 and a half and you're ready to leave your job. You don't want to have to continue working until the age of 70 because of the actions that you are taking now, right? Because you're not, when you take that $5,000 out of your 401k, you're not just taking that $5,000. You're taking all the money that $5,000 is accumulating to by the time you're 65 or 70, right? Because right now you might be 30 or 40. Like, even if you're 40, 60 is 20 years away. That is a lot of time for something to be compounding. You see what I'm saying? Even if it's just 10%, which is on the low end in today's society, even if it's just 10% a year, it's a long time.
The thing that people, I don't know if they neglect it or if they don't talk to financial experts at times. It's that loss of potential growth. But then also, when you're withdrawing this money, there are penalties that come with this. Just because you're not playing by the rules. The rules of a retirement account are you put money in and you're able to take money out once you reach 59 and a half, or for these specific reasons. If you're taking money out for, emergencies, which, like you said, Cornell, that could be a legit reason. but it's not a legit reason according to the retirement account rules. So there will potentially be a 10% penalty on any money taken out of a retirement account prior to the age of 59 and a half. And if you went with a traditional account, you haven't paid money on those, you haven't paid taxes on that money yet, the money that you put into your retirement account. So there's a potential for you to get taxed on, well, you're going to pay taxes on that money if you're withdrawing from a traditional retirement account. That's regardless of if you're withdrawing it now or later. And with the Roth, of course, you have the benefit of having already paid those taxes, but there's still that 10% penalty, right? That comes with you withdrawing your money early. Okay. So if you're talking about $5,000, 10% might not seem like a lot. But if you're wanting to withdraw $90,000, that's a lot of money that you're throwing away. That's a lot of money you're throwing away. Not to mention, like you said, the potential growth is now gone. All right. So I think that you should definitely look into other options if it's possible. Like, is it something that you need right now? Is it possible for you to build a emergency fund, or is it something that you can push to later, right? Like those are the questions you got to ask yourself. And then also there's the ability to take a loan from your retirement account instead of withdrawing. You don't have to take the money out immediately and like that be the end of it. You can literally borrow from yourself. You can take a loan out from your 401k, and over time you will pay that money back and the interest goes to the retirement account. So you're paying yourself back with interest without getting hit with any of the penalties and without paying taxes on that traditional withdrawal. So there are definitely ways to make sure that you keep all the money that you earned. You just have to make sure you're playing by the rules, talking to the experts, asking the right questions. So that's what we really want to talk about today. You know what I mean? Like, people are taking money out of their 401k and ultimately losing money that they've been growing. And also they are removing future money and future growth, because we all know we talk about compound interest a lot on this channel. You take money out of your 401k, that compound interest or the ability for it to take effect is now gone. So let's like seriously think about ways to um, make smart moves with your 401k. They did come out with the Secure 2.0 Act like 3 years ago, where you're able to take up to $1,000 penalty free. But that's $1,000 every year. You can take $1,000 from your retirement account without it being considered, like without it getting hit with a penalty. So there's that. But we're not saying take $1,000 out, because you're still like getting hit with that. You're reducing the potential growth every year you take out 1,000, even though you aren't getting hit with the penalties. There is still the ability for you to lose out on what that $1,000 can do in the next 5 years. So lots of options.
Even more versatile. And I don't know if you've seen like, so now the new administration is trying to open up the 401k to private assets, which is which is big. It could be a flaw, or it could be a very positive thing. I think it just depends on the person and what they decide to take the risk on. So private assets encompass a variety of categories. So it could be private equity, venture capital, real estate, infrastructure like roads, buildings, and things of that nature. Also, private debt or hedge funds. So, of course, like with a lot of things, the administration has not really went into detail about what they're trying to open it up to. But these are examples of what private assets are. So, of course, as they release more information, we'll probably tell you all like how we plan on maneuvering it, if we plan on maneuvering it at all. So we'll see.
And I had mentioned before, called a self-directed IRA, right? It's basically a retirement account that allows you to invest in things outside of the stock market. You can purchase digital assets or cryptocurrency. You can buy real estate. You can buy art. You can loan money out, right? There's a lot of things that you can do with a self-directed IRA. And what this updated 401k, what the potential updated 401k sounds like is a lot like that. Like it's basically opening up the ability for a retirement account to go beyond just the stock market. So I don't know. Like you said, there is pros and cons to it because with increased availability and increased options, there also needs to be an increase in education because I feel like there is a big potential for people to get scammed out of their 401k retirement because it's not safe. We already know 401ks are pretty locked down. Most companies don't even let you invest. Companies don't let you invest in everything, right? You can't go YOLO on on Nvidia if you work for like Lockheed Martin or something. They give you a certain amount of assets that you can purchase. It's like a very watered down version of the stock market. So if they're talking about cracking open 401ks to anything, yeah, and that's the reason they did it because people were putting all of their retirement money. I'm gonna bet all this on black, and then they lose. And now the money they've been working for and building for 15 years because one stock plummets. Like that's what they were avoiding with the structure of making it like, okay, we want to make sure that people are not taking their money and they're being irresponsible with it. We have to do something. So they forced it into this box, this 401k box. Is like, this is what you can get because this is safe. And if you go outside of here, you might lose all your money. So we're gonna keep it right here.
Because there are other people that'll screw themselves over. Like
Yes. Yeah, bro.
Social Security, because I do know that Social Security is also for disabled people. So I do like that part of it because it's not a choice for someone to become disabled. But on the pension part, the part that acts like a pension, where they take some of your check for as long as you're working. For most jobs, my job does not pay into Social Security, but is I hate that part of it because I feel like they're ripping people off. There are people that work their whole lives and they'll get like small checks every month, like $1,000. It's insane for the rest of their life. It is. So like I'm not a fan of like the pension model. If I can avoid it, I would. But gotta roll with the punches. You gotta play the cards that you've been dealt.
Off of a single source of income. And inflation is making sure that that's not the case, right? That's why we promote investing. That's why we promote making sure your retirement account is set up correctly. That's even why we promote using your skills and your abilities to start a business. We just want to make sure that people are are not relying on a sole source of income, especially if it's you working for another person. Because we're seeing the layoffs that happen in these businesses, and we're seeing a lot of times when people just get let go. What do you do then, right? If you get to a point to where you've worked for this company for 6 years, it was the only way you were making money, and now they decided to let you go. Are literally scrambling, looking for a job, trying to make sure that by the end of month 2 or month 3, whatever care package they gave you when they let you go doesn't run out before you land your next gig, right? But to prevent that, you do things like invest. You do things like have some emergency funds saved up, making sure that your retirement is building. So, and of course upskilling. But yeah, it's a lot of ways to avoid the need to rely on a sole source of income. But with this topic, it being specific about 401ks, definitely look into more options and ways to handle financial emergencies that does not include you stealing from your future self, right? Because there's ways to do it. Um, so yeah, it's very interesting topic, but it's happening, right? Because life is getting more expensive, more difficult, and the the way that people have been playing the game, which is working a job and getting paid, that doesn't really work anymore. All right, it's not keeping up with the price. So yeah, got to make some changes, folks.
It all, put it in places where it's making more money, where it's beating inflation, like the stock market or real estate, and you'll be good. The plan is that every check you get, it should be increasing your net worth, even if it's by a little. Never move backwards. So
Man, yes, Sirski. All right. Well, look, we appreciate you. Oh, go ahead.
Fest at the end of August. August is coming up next week. Yeah, I think Friday is August 1st. So we're in that month. We're coming with new products, new ways to build the financial literacy of the community. Please come see us if you stop by. If you're unable to join, of course, we'll have content out on here. We'll be sharing our experience after, and also we'll have a new. Well, I'm not gonna bring that up yet, but just know that we'll have things for you all to engage with us. Yeah.
So it's changes coming to Investors Playbook. So we're excited to launch those changes at InvestFest. We hope to see you there. But yeah, again, as always, we appreciate you all joining. We appreciate you all listening. If you have not subscribed already to this channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you know someone who is potentially discussing whether or not they need to pull money out of their 401k, shoot them this video, please. All right. Tell them to slow down and just watch this. It's less than 20 minutes. Okay. Just tell them to sit down, watch it real quick, and then think twice about figuring out if that's something that they actually need to do, because again, we don't want to take from our future self. So yep, as always, appreciate you all. Thank you. We will catch y'all next week. Peace out.